Hello to my subscribers. This is your girl Destiny. I am out into nature. And the reason why I'm out here because I'm going to be talking about the foods that the creator that he created for us to eat to be whole, wholesome, healthy, healed and complete. So this is the best place to be. And I am doing this video because of a subscriber requested that I do a video explaining the Genesis 1 to 9 diet of the divine creator. I have done several videos and I have talked a little bit about the Genesis diet. If you go into your Bibles, you will see in Genesis chapter 1 verse 29 that the creator gave us a plan of the foods that the humans are supposed to eat, as well in verse 30 he gives a plan of all the animals that they must eat. So shout out to Courtney, I'm getting around to doing this video today, and I know you requested this, and I don't like procrastinating, but I did put it off for quite a while because I was been so busy doing some other things. I apologize. And I'm not on the camera because today has been really a very hectic day. I really just prefer to film in my video today behind the camera. But the most important thing, Courtney, is that you listen with your heart. You don't have to see me. You just listen to your heart to the words in this video, okay? So, again, shout out to you, Courtney, and thank you for being a faithful YouTube subscriber, as well as my Facebook subscriber. A shout out to you and your family, and I'm so glad that you are embarking upon this path of eating a wholesome and healthy vegan diet. And today I will explain to you the Genesis 1 to 9 diet plan of the Creator. I'm going to topic this subject. This should be your food. Every herb bearing seed and every fruit tree yielding seed. Sorry for the stumbling. I repeat it. This should be your food. Every herb bearing seed and every fruit tree yielding seed. So I'm doing this video because Courtney requested this information, but this video is for anyone who's out there who is interested in changing their lifestyle to eat a more healthy, wholesome, and nutritious diet. And the diet that I do suggest that I am really faithful to is eating the diet of Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. I am a vegan. I've been vegan for over 7 years, and I'm learning as I go along this journey to my wholesome and healthy lifestyle, changing the things that I used to eat to a more healthy way of eating. So anyone who out there is interested, please listen along with Courtney, okay? But I'm asked a question. Talk to all you other guys. Did you know that the Creator's original diet plan can be found in Genesis chapter 1 verse 29? And I'm going to read that scripture to you out there, guys, okay? So just stay tuned. I'm going to read it. It reads as, "Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat." And that meat, if you really go back into the history, the etymology, the origin of words, search in the biblical meaning of that word meat means food. And so it can be a lot of misunderstanding for people, which they have many times um, use that word in a misunderstanding way. But listen, the fruits of the trees and the herbs bearing seed, it all were provided for our food. And the creator of God of this universe, he gave our first parents, and y'all know we're talking about Adam and Eve when they were in the Garden of Eden. He gave them the food that he designed way back then for the people today to eat as their wholesome, healthy, and nutritious diet. You can call it vegetarian, you can call it vegan, but it's a healthy, wholesome, green, plant-based diet. Excuse me. So, the Creator, he designed that for all of his people. It was contrary to his plan to have the life of any creature or any animal taken to use as food for humans to eat. And there was to be no death in that Garden of Eden. Eden was a place of freedom, a place of wholesomeness, a place of healthy, place of eating nutritious, right from the trees, right out of the heart of the earth. So it never was the Creator's plan for us to eat any creatures or any animals, according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. The fruit of the trees in the garden, it was the food man was supposed to require. Man was supposed to desire, even back then when Adam and Eve was in the garden, and as well as us today. So that's explained why the tree of life and the Garden of Eden was so significant. And we hear a lot about the tree of life. And when he told Adam and Eve not to eat of the fruit of that tree of knowledge of good and evil, there's a significant factor, but that's another video, so we're not going on that. But also listen, in Genesis chapter 3, verse 18, the Creator also introduced to man new foods, other than the herb-bearing seeds, the fruits, and all that. He introduced to man new foods, which are vegetables from the ground. Those sweet potatoes, those carrots, and all those things that come out of the dirt, out of the ground. And Genesis 3:18, it reads as this. It says, both thorns and thistles it shall grow for you, but you shall eat the plants of the field. And you see, these new foods provided, though, added nutrients, especially chlorophyll and concentrated sun power, which is like a twin sister to hemoglobin in the red blood cells. So the green blood in plants can make red blood in humans and green vegetables for a wonderful body building. And yes, listen, the Creator, he made vegetables high in phytochemicals, and that was to nourish the body's immune system and to keep us disease free. And the vegetables, they are rich in an abundance of minerals like calcium, magnesium, potassium, and trace minerals, because they grew directly in the soil from which man himself was formed. And that's what the Creator did. Remember, he scooped man out of the heart of the earth, and he created him in his likeness and in his image. He came out of the dirt, out of the same soil that the Creator later in Genesis chapter 3, verse 18, gave man a new way of eating, and that was from the ground. That's a whole nother video as well. But listen, I just want to say that all of these It's the way and the lifestyle to a more healthier you, to wholeness. And that's why we have to get back to the way that the Creator designed for mankind to eat. Vegetables, though, they are rich in abundance, as I said. And because they grow directly, like I said, right from the source from which man was created. The vegetables, they contain vitamins, especially the vitamin A, the vitamin B, and the vitamin C. And they also have enough protein to build strong bodies. And people always say, well, you don't eat meat, you're not getting enough proteins. My people, that's a myth. That's not true. You can get all the proteins, sufficient proteins, right from eating vegetables and greens and all that right out of the earth, seeds and all that. So, my people, I want to clarify that as well. Also, plants are high. They are high in octane, which is like the octane fuel. That's what I'm trying to say. Listen, plants are high octane fuel, and it contains the nutrients and the calories to fuel our bodies as well as to pair the human body. And what we do, we mineralize ourselves by eating the plants that the Creator has created and that the Creator has grown from the earth. But then there's something else that caught my attention when I have been studying in Revelation, the last book of the Bible. Revelations chapter 22, verse 2, it takes us back to the Creator's original diet plan. And the tree of life, which bears those 12 manners of fruits, that talks about that in Revelation chapter 22, verse 2. It brings it all back to us again. And it tells us in Revelation chapter 2 that the tree of life, it bears the 12 manner of fruits and yielded her fruit every month, providing its blessing again. So, check out Revelation chapter 22, verse 2, and you get some more understanding of that. But here's another point. And that point is that you and I were born after sin. And therefore, we require fruits and we require those nuts and grains, plus all those good vegetables to make good blood. And it is a mistake to suppose that muscular strength, it depends on the use of animal food. And I just told you, that's just a myth. We can get our proteins, we can get our nutrients, we can get all our vitamins right out here into earth with all the plant-bearing seeds, the fruit tree-bearing seeds, the herbs and the vegetables that comes out of the ground. He already had put that into a place where we can have that as a guideline to go by. But somehow man got away from the plan that the Creator has, the Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 diet. Anyway, the needs of the system, though, it can better supplied, or it can be better supplied and more vigorously healthy and can be enjoyed without the use of it. But the grains and all the fruits and all the nuts and the vegetables, they contain all the nutrients and all the properties that is necessary to make good blood. And these elements are not so well or so fully supplied by a flesh diet. I'm talking about flesh, I'm talking about the animals, the creatures that run around here, these animals. These elements are not so well and not fully supplied by a flesh diet. We're talking about the raw vegan diet from the heart of the earth that the Creator, He has planted all these trees and seeds and plants in the ground and all that. But listen, people, today we must continue on this provisional diet when the plant foods are in a great abundance And they all so much, they're available now at farmers markets, in the supermarkets. But just seem like we just can't go and get the healthy foods. We go into the markets, we go into the whole food places for food, and we seem like we want to pick up everything than the healthy green leafy vegetables and fruits and all that. But today we must continue on this provisional diet when the plant foods are in great abundance and they're available in the supermarkets, or better yet, they are available in our own gardens. We just gotta get out here and start planting our gardens again. I remember my dad. We grew up on a farm. My daddy was a farmer. That was his occupation, and we got all our fruits and vegetables and things, our food, basically out of the heart of the earth. We gotta get back to that. We can grow our own gardens. We can know what we're getting. We can know what is in those foods. But when you get into the supermarket, they inject them with all kinds of chemicals, all kinds of dyes, and all kinds of additives. And it takes the rawness and the freshness and all that wholesome, healthy, nutritious right out of it that the Creator has placed within them for us to live a wholesome, healthy lifestyle and have a wholesome, healthy diet. But if ever there was a time when the perfect diet should be of the simplest form, and people, it is now. This is a time that we got to start eating wholesome and healthy. So much is going on right now, especially with the COVID-19 and all the different diseases that's going on out here and the viruses, and our immune system is being attacked and broken down. We got to start eating healthy, build up our defense system in our body so we can fight. But we can't fight until we change our diet from eating all those unhealthy foods that are not wholesome and healthy for your body. So if there was any simple time or the perfect diet now, it should be now that we start eating more healthy. My people, let me tell you this. Meat should not be placed before our children, and it should not be even placed before yourselves. Because what it does, it influences us to excite, and also it strengthens the lower passions, and it has this tendency to deaden the moral powers. So let's go back to the grains and the fruits. In as natural of a condition as possible, though, there is nothing more natural than raw. Nothing more natural than right off of the trees, right here where Mother Earth, the Creator. Right now, you may not see. Well, I don't see fruit trees, but they got orchards. They got places where you can go get fruits right off the trees. I'm just showing you beautiful green trees here in Mother Earth. So anyway, my people, listen. I know we got people that go out there deep, okay? But the grains and the fruits in as a natural of a condition as possible. And there is nothing more, as I said, nothing more than raw vegan diet. And it should be the food for the tables of all of his creation, all his people. And again, people, guess what? I have been shown that the divine Creator is bringing his people back to his original design. He's taking us back. Yes, we resist. A lot of people resisting because I don't want to give up my chicken. I don't want to give up my ham, my turkey. I don't want to give up eating those greasy French fries. I don't want to give up that. Oh, it's too good. And all those sweets and all those things. People, let it go. It has no purpose for you to maintain a healthy, wholesome lifestyle or keeping your body in a wholesome frame of mind. So, as I said, his original design is for us to eat wholesome, for us to live a wholesome and healthy life. And as I said, the Creator is bringing his people back to his original design. And that is not to subsist upon the flesh of dead animals, but to teach people a better way to eat and a better way to live. We should eat to live, my people, and not live to eat. And I hope you can get that, exactly what that means. So, what does the Creator mean by his original design? It is his evident from my studies that what he means is this pure plant food diet that he has given us in Genesis chapter 1 verse 29 and Genesis chapter 3 verse 18, which is a vegan diet without the use of any animal products. So let our people discard all that unwholesome eating foods and those unwholesome recipes, and let's change up. Let's throw them out. And we can't eat wholesome and healthy. You got to go into the supermarkets when you're shopping. You got to look at labels and with all those additives and dyes and chemicals in your food. Names on those labels, that's about 2,500 words on it, a label. Words sometimes that are 50 letters long. That's a red flag, people. Be mindful. Like I told my daughter, when I go in, she knows this. When I go into the supermarkets, I take a magnifying glass because they make the writing so small on the labels because they don't want you to read it. They don't want you to understand it because they know what's all those chemicals. Go home and search some of those names and you see what those dyes are, those chemicals are. They are death traps, my people. So, let us get back to a more wholesome health diet. And let them learn how to live healthy. Learn how to healthily. So we can teach others what they have to learn. So we can help others to stand strong. So they can be able to go through of changing themselves, their diet from an unwholesome diet to a more healthy and vegan diet. And people, let them impart this knowledge as they would impart the Bible instructions and the subscriptions. They can throw that Bible at you. They can depart so much of that, but then why they don't want to depart the wisdom and knowledge in the Bible, what the Bible is telling us, we should eat whole. We should eat wholesome. We should eat raw, right out the heart of the earth. So watch people who always throwing Bible instructions and Bible scriptures at you. You tell them to check themselves, okay? So let me help you understand more. So let's teach the people to reserve the health and increase the strength by avoiding this large amount of cooking, because boy, we can cook the life out of the food. The little bit life that's left in it, and we bring it home, we put it on the stove, and we heat it up to this high intensity heat, and we are really damaging the food so bad, cooking all the nutrients and things out of it. We can't cook our foods like that and maintain nutrients that's healthy for our foods. We just washing it all away. So my people, let our people discard all the unwholesome recipes. Learn how to be able to eat raw. And if it's eating raw is not something that you can just dive right into, then just take baby steps toward it. And learn to cook your food just on a low heat for a very short period of time. So it can still be crisp, wholesome, and you have the nutrients still alive in it. So my people, listen. Let them teach the people to preserve the health and increase the strength by avoiding the large amount of cooking that has filled the world with chronic invalids. By precept and example, it made plain that the food which the Creator gave Adam in his sinless state is the best for man's use as he seeks to regain that consciousness state, his higher state of being, his consciousness state of mind, his wholeness state. And when you talk about Adam in his sinless state, my people, listen. The reference in his sinless state suggests that before Adam ate of the forbidden fruit and sin, that his diet consisted of only the live food, the raw foods, and there was no fire in Eden, and no fire, my people, in the Garden of Eden for cooking. No, they didn't have no stoves, they didn't have no grills, they didn't have all that crazy stuff called microwaves and all that, people. They was raw right off the tree, right out of the ground. It was raw, and that is how we supposed to be eating. They didn't have all that, people. Man came in and gave us microwaves and gave us ovens and gave us grills. Because, you know, man always got his own way of going against what the Creator wants, so he can pull us away from becoming our best and better self. But there wasn't no cooking in the Garden of Eden, nor was there any death. No. Now we dying these days. Our people are dying. Boy, obesity, high blood pressure, heart conditions, because of the foods. I mean, people, think about it. It's the foods. So people are dying, my people. But there was no death back there in the Garden of Eden. It wasn't until after Adam and Eve was driven out of the garden that the first animal was ever killed. And he wasn't killed for them to eat. He killed them so he can dress their nakedness. You get that tomorrow. Anyway, listen. And you can see where the first animal was killed. I think that's in Genesis chapter 3, verse 21. I just want to give you a reference to that. So now I do not think it means for us to be a fruitarian, as I had said earlier, but we were born after sin and need to eat vegetables, my people. We need to eat those vegetables. But it may be saying to eat the food in the same way that Adam ate it. And what Adam ate, he ate it living. They go right to the tree and they pluck off whatever they needed to eat. They ate it living, live. That was called raw, people. The diet in the sinless state was always live. It was always raw. And nature gives us the Creator's blessing in every bite that we eat right off the tree. However, though, many raw foods recipes are absolutely, yes, they are delicious. And raw and living foods are superior to cooked foods because the act of heating food over 115 degrees, it destroys the enzymes. So, learn to sprout grains, my people. Learn to sprout seeds and preserve the live enzymes. The enzymes in the food which would otherwise be destroyed. We want to save those enzymes. So don't overcook our foods. If we have to cook, if we can't digest right now the raw diet, the living diet, then cook it on a low heat and cook it just in a matter of seconds. You don't want to overcook because it kills the nutrients as well as the enzymes. So people, furthermore, cooking food can change the molecule structure of the food and renders it toxic in so many cases. And when we come and start throwing it in the microwave, people, that's the worst of ever you can ever be introduced to. Microwaving is the worst. And in most cases, though, living foods have a higher nutrient values than cooked food and retain more oxidants. It attains more to prevent and fight disease. If we don't have that, then we can't fight the disease. Our immune system gets broken down, and then we are prone to sicknesses and viruses and disease to attack our bodies. And our kidneys got so much they're trying to fight to help us to stay strong, but we're breaking it down with the chemicals and the diets and all those things that they're putting in our foods that is not healthy, the pesticides and all that they are throwing on the foods so it can make them grow fast. But people, let me make it clear that I am not saying that everyone must be a raw foodist. A raw foodist? No, or avoid cooking altogether. But that is your choice, and I'm not telling anybody to do anything that Destiny is doing. I'm just giving you information out there for your knowledge, and I'm just sharing my experiences. I'm not saying that you have to be a raw foodist. I'm not telling you to avoid cooking altogether. You make that decision. That's your choice. Choose you this day what you will serve, or whom you will serve. But I must admit that I have come to appreciate the raw diet, or at least a high percentage of my diet consisting of live food, as the best for man today. And it is certainly, it is a diet of the most simplest form. And I'm gonna stop there. And like I said, this is long, so I'm gonna have to come back. But we're gonna talk more into this, Courtney, and all these subscribers out there that is listening. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna finish this so you can know more about the Genesis 129 Creator's Diet Plan. So play this and listen to it. Go back and go back and listen to it. Go out and do your own research, and you get more information. And Destiny will be back to continue this because this is a lot, and I want to take it easy. I want to take it slow, and I don't want to overload. Not forcing anybody out there to do anything. Choose you this day. He give us choices, but he give us the right way of doing it. But he's not gonna force you, and neither should man force anybody into anything. You have the right to your own choices. I'm gonna see you, Courtney. Thank you. You gotta come back too because I have to finish the video at another time. So my lovely people, I thank you for spending this time with Destiny and going over the Genesis 129 Creator's Diet Plan, and we will pick up more at the next video. Namaste, lovely people. Have an awesome and fantastic day. And again, Courtney, thank you for the request of getting this information out there in front of the people. I will continue at another time. This is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 is coming. Namaste, lovely people. Goodbye.